Welcome back to the world of tennis, presented by BNP Paribas.
While in LA at the Farmers Classic, I had the opportunity to sit down with Sam Querrey, the defending champion on the Olympus US Open Series and last year's champion here at the Farmers Classic. Thank you for joining us. The defending Olympus US Open Series champion, you're starting your campaign here in LA at the Farmers Classic. How does it feel to be back in the US Summer Circuit?
Feels great. I'm excited to kind of start this summer here in LA. I'm going to have a lot of family and friends out here, and it's nice, you know, for me this is my first time returning to a tournament as defending champion, so it's pretty exciting.
Any new emotions? Is it more pressure or more about excitement?
For me, it's just all about excitement right now. I've still got 4 or 5 days until my match, so you know, the nerves might build up a little bit to, you know, before the match, but right now I'm just excited.
You had a breakthrough at Wimbledon. You got to the 4th round, lost to Andy Murray. What was that experience like?
Wimbledon was great. It was great to kind of, you know, get to the 4th round. I had made one other 4th round appearance at the US Open a couple years ago, so it was nice to be back in the second week of a slam, and to play Andy Murray in London was really exciting. You know, I had the crowd against me, but maybe I'll get a chance to play him here in LA, and maybe the crowd will be on my side.
Well, you're only one of 2 players thus far that's won a tournament on all different surfaces. Indoors in Memphis, clay in Belgrade, and the grass at Queen's Club. What makes your game so applicable on all surfaces?
You know, I feel like I'm very comfortable moving on all surfaces. I think that's the most important thing. I'm working a lot with my coach David on sliding on the clay and on the grass, you know, really staying low, and I feel like I'm able to change my game style a little bit on the 3 different surfaces if I need, and you know, I just go out there and I feel confident on all the surfaces, and that's a huge part of it.
Well, you're top 20 in the world now. What will you need to do to get to that next level?
You know, I'm gonna have to pick up my game at the Masters Series and Grand Slams, the big events where you know, the bulk of the points are generated, and I'm up to play a little better at those events and go a little deeper. And you know, as far as my game goes, I need to work on my return to serve, and you know, I think my backhand. Those are the 2 things that really need the most work right now.
Well, you had such a great run last summer, won so many matches. Any particular memory, any match jump out at you as extra special?
I think the most special match last
Roddick
summer.
at Cincy. Are you going to bring that one out?
I wasn't going to.
Okay. Which one were you going to bring out?
That was very special. I was going to bring out the finals here in LA.
Nice.
You know, it was
Karsten Ball. I was here.
Karsten Ball, yeah, one of my good buddies from the juniors. We probably played 10, 15 times growing up, and you know, anytime you're playing in the finals and get a win, it's a really special feeling.
What about that win against Andy Roddick in Cincinnati? You also beat him in Memphis this year. He's held the mantle as that top American for the last 9 years. How much of a source of motivation is catching him?
You know, it's a little bit of a motivation. You know, he wants that top spot.
Right.
You know, I know I'm trying to catch him. John Isner's trying to catch him. Marty Fish, James Blake. You know, we're all doing all we can to catch him. But you know, he doesn't want to give that up. So, you know, he's gonna make one of us really earn it.
Davis Cup. You've been part of the team. Played against Serbia this year. What is that experience like representing your country?
Davis Cup is great. There's not a better feeling than going out there and getting the honor to play for your country, playing for our captain Patrick McEnroe, and I'm really looking forward to heading to Colombia after the US Open.
You said the US Open. It's the crown jewel of this summer circuit. What are your goals and hopes for the US Open?
US Open this year, last year I made the 3rd round. This year I'd like to make the 4th round and, you know, hopefully go further. But I'm just going to kind of set the little short-term goal at the 4th round here, and I'm just hoping to play well, and you know, hopefully this Olympus US Open Summer Series can kind of be a good you know, kind of leading point up into the US Open.
Well, Sam Querrey, thank you for joining us here on the World of Tennis.
Thanks.
Good luck. Tennis elbow is one of the most common and debilitating tennis injuries. On this week's Tennis Medical Update, Dr. Vijay Vad will elaborate and give us some information on how to deal with and prevent tennis elbow.
Tennis Medicine Update is brought to you by the MD System, clinically proven rapid pain relief topical.
I'm Dr. Vijay Vad for Health Tips. Today's topic is tennis elbow. Interestingly, tennis elbow is seen commonly in recreational players, but rarely in professional athletes. Part of it could be due to their perfect technique, but also maybe their younger age, as tennis elbow tends to occur in the 4th and 5th decade of life. The most common reason for tennis elbow is lack of blood supply to the inner core of the tendon, which causes injury, which is not being able to repair itself. There are many things you can do to try to prevent tennis elbow. The first is to wear elbow strap while you play tennis. There are also stretching and strengthening exercises you can do to try to not just prevent tennis elbow, but to maintain maximum performance. The first is a wrist flexion stretch. The wrist should be pointing down, and pressure should be put on the wrist in order to stretch the elbow tendon that is injured. Ideally, this stretch should be done 15 seconds 5 times in order to get maximum flexibility into the tendon in order to try to avoid recurrence of injuries. The second is a wrist extensor strengthening exercise. It should be done 15 repetitions, done 5 times. Ideally, should be done with a partner. Try to resist a little bit in the partner pushing your wrist into the ground. Negative strengthening has been shown to reduce injuries and to maintain power and try to prevent tennis elbow. Remember to stretch and strengthen to stay fit. I'm Dr. Vijay Vad.
This tennis medicine update was brought to you by the MD System, clinically proven rapid pain relief topical. For more information, visit themdsystem.com or call 1-800-313-5056. 1983 marked a big year in tennis rivalry. Martina Navratilova and Chris Evert are up next. This and more coming up on the World of Tennis, presented by BNP Paribas.